Ronan, great to chat to you ahead of a huge All-Ireland final. Firstly, when we just go back to the semi-final for a second, obviously disappointing circumstances with the scoreboard. What way did you see it?
Yeah, listen, I suppose it's human error is all, isn't it, really? And obviously it was difficult at the time, obviously after for Kilkenny, but it's the GA, everybody's there and putting in their own time, I suppose, and effort into everything, and nobody went out to do any wrong or anything. But listen, it is what it is now, and I suppose we just have to move on from it.
Just as a player's point of view, when you're in the thick of the action at that level, are you keeping an eye on the scoreboard, or do you know yourself in your head? What way does it work?
Every so often you try and have a glimpse at the scoreboard, all right, but I suppose when the game is so hectic, and especially at the weekend against Kilkenny, it was chaotic towards the latter end of the game, so I had a quick glance at it, all right, and I thought it was 3, but listen, to us like I said, it's rare that you get the opportunity to look up and get your breath, but yeah, listen, it is what it is now, and unfortunately that's just the way it was, and I don't think anybody went out to do any wrong.
Listen, can we just go back a little bit, and over the past couple of years it's been a bit tough for Tipperary, in the fact, last year I think it was bottom of the Munster Championship. It was one provincial win over 2 seasons. I think Liam was talking about things that needed to be corrected coming into this year, and he really praised the players as a group. Can you tell me kind of were the words had between the players, and what main things do you see you've changed that have affected this season?
I suppose since the day we finished up against Clare last year in the Munster Championship, we knew there was an awful lot of work to be done, and a few things, like Liam said, to be changed. And I suppose there's lots of tough conversations had between players, and there's lots of tough conversations had between the management as well with us. So we knew ourselves there was different things we had to come to the fore with, and I suppose we had to get our fitness up, and we had to be I think naturally we came a lot closer as a group as well, and that comes from, I suppose, those difficult days that you have together on the field. So there was all those little things, and there was a bit of work to be put in through the off season, and we know how good we are as a group, and between the lines, I suppose, and behind the closed doors we just had to put in the hard work, but it was really tough. And I suppose when we got knocked out against Clare in the Munster Championship last year, there was a lot of sleepless nights after that, and we were only really excited to get back in together as a group, and the sooner the better it was, and just to get back and put in that hard work, and I think we did throughout the off season. And I suppose we had a lot of difficult matches through the Munster Championship as well, and you get a lot of confidence coming out of those games, and it's great to be in the thick of the battle as well, so that's where your confidence and that's where your belief comes through, getting results and winning matches, so but like I said, it was tough, but like we said, we parked that as well, and there's lots of new lads on the panel now that have never had to go through that, so it's great, and they bring a great freshness to it as well, so all that adds as well.
We've just been talking about age and experience. You're approaching a big milestone birthday this year. We won't go into that today, but have you had a role to play then as well? You've been there, you've done it twice, you know what it takes. So how have you been able to, I suppose, get the story across to the lads that this is the level, we're not at that level yet, but this is what needs to be reached to win an All-Ireland?
Yeah, and I suppose you start at the bottom, don't you, and you work your way up, and I suppose there's plenty of mature players within the group, and it's great, and I'm just really honoured, I suppose, to represent that group of players, and we always knew that we could challenge for All-Irelands, but it was about getting ourselves right, and obviously there was lots of learnings and lots of things that we had to change, but you do have to have that bit of experience, and you have to have those conversations, but you're not going to change anything on your own, and there's a great group of players there, an unbelievable group of players, and the work that they've put in throughout the year has been unbelievable, and it was just great to top it off now, but we've taken it game by game, and we've lots of things to look back on after the Kilkenny game now on Sunday, and they have to be tweaked and changed as well going forward for the next 2 weeks, so it's going to be really important for us to get the heads back down, come back down, and I suppose go after those small things and be ready to go again in 2 weeks' time.
How about you personally? Body good, form, happy with that? Where are you at this moment?
Yeah, happy enough. I suppose it takes a bit longer after games to get back to freshness, but listen, really enjoying it at the minute, absolutely, and we've been waiting the last 6 years to get back into this position, and there's a lot of work gone in, so you can only but enjoy the next 2 weeks, and I know a lot of people try and say, block it out as much as you can, but you train so hard to get into these positions, it's really important that you enjoy it as well as focusing in.
To win an All-Ireland is something, to win 2 is some achievement. What would it mean to you to win 3, a hat-trick, and join them? that's a pretty cool club to be in.
That should be unbelievable, and it's something that you're dreaming about, I suppose. Since the last time you were in Cork Park, you always just want to get back, and thankfully we've got back to obviously play against Kilkenny there the weekend, and you get a small glimpse of it there at the weekend, and you want to get back up there again, like, because it's the place everybody wants to be playing, and packed crowd and a great atmosphere, and it's really where you can express yourself up there, and like I said, it's really enjoyable. It's what we all want. It's where we all want to be at the end of the year. We don't want to be at home looking at it on the telly, you know. So it's great to be back there. It's something that I don't take for granted, and I won't take for granted going forward, because I know how hard it is to get there. But it's just great for this group of players, and I just hope now that we leave no stone unturned. We'll go forward now, like I said, for the next 2 weeks and do the best we can.
Just a few questions on Cork. What you make of their performance against Dublin? Like, Dublin came into that, there was a lot of talk about Dublin. Could they reach this first final in, what was it, the 50s or something crazy? They obliterated them, they blew them away. So how do you approach this game with Cork? I was saying to Declan earlier as well, you know, there was a 15-point difference. I know there was a man difference down on that day, but how do you approach this game with Cork? Do you just concentrate on yourselves, or are there things to be done you have to watch out for?
Yeah, listen, Cork they've won a league final, they've won a Munster Championship, and they've been the team to beat this year, and they've been pretty ruthless against every team they've went out against this year, and obviously they're a goal machine. You have to do your bit of work, and I suppose, but it's really about focusing in on ourselves as well now. As we've played them 3 times this year, I think it was, so like, we can look back at those games and see what improvements have to be done and what we have to take on board, but ultimately it's about focusing on ourselves, going up to Croke Park, making sure we're ready to perform and implement our game plan.
And finally, if the 15 of you are, let's talk about maybe the bench as well, those players perform to what you know they're capable of, do you think you'll be bringing home the Liam McCarthy Trophy?
Listen, I suppose you're always challenging yourself to perform better and better and better, but I suppose, like I said a second ago, we have a few things that we have to go after the Kilkenny game, and we really have to go after them the next 2 weeks, tidy up on a few things, but it's really important that we focus in on that. But I feel like Croke Park is a great place to be, and it's something that we went after the whole time, and it's something that we really wanted to get to, and we felt like we could express ourselves in Croke Park, and I felt like we did on Sunday, so we'll be hoping to do the very same again, and I have full belief in this group that we can if we perform and arrive on the day, we'll be in a great shout with having the Liam McCarthy.